Welcome to the Prep Pigskin Report podcast, hosted by Papa Pig himself, Paul Rudy.
Welcome to PPR podcast number 38. Everybody knows the man to my right. His name is Bert Grossman, the 8th pick in the 1989 draft.
Just stop.
Renowned athlete and commentator. My name is Paul, and in the hot seat today, would you like to introduce your guest?
Johnny Lamone. Johnny, you know what? We're still going back and forth at what school you're at right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What school do you guys think I'm at?
Lincoln.
It looked like you had
That's
Eastlake
correct
colors
answer.
behind you. That's why I wasn't sure.
So,
really?
Can you confirm that? I mean, we knew you as an Eastlake quarterback, and now you are a Lincoln quarterback, correct?
Yes, sir. That's correct.
Well, let's start the conversation there. Explain the transfer.
Due to a home situation, I had to move around here in the area, and it was easier for me to transfer or go to school here at Lincoln than to drive all the way to Eastlake from around here, this area.
Are you, and Pomato just transferred there from Saints, correct?
Yes, he did, but I believe he transferred out
Recently? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I did not know that. See, that's why we have people. And the other reason we have this podcast, people don't realize, Paul asked you how to pronounce your name earlier. This is a dry run for PPR because he's been butchering kids' names for 20 years. So we figured if we get all the stars coming up on the PPR, he could practice names. He wanted to call you Johnny Lyman, and I'm like, come on, Paul, seriously?
But you know what?
Yeah,
that's not true. Because your fame now is growing so that everybody knows how to pronounce your name, Johnny.
Yeah. But over the years, people have been pronouncing my name a little wrong. I don't blame them for that. It's pronounced Limon. So
the reason, we had, everybody talks about class of 2024. You're only a junior next year. And every time we talk about Julian Sayin on this podcast with other quarterbacks, Jackson and other quarterbacks, your name keeps coming up as one of the guys. And I saw, you killed it at the Super 7 San Diego event. Is it a lot of, did you get that a lot? Because I know you were having a great sophomore year, you got hurt, and then you came back and you got hurt again. I think it was the same injury. Do you get that a lot where people just don't really know your name as much?
No, not really. It seems like people still really know who I am. And even after me not playing the greatest sophomore year, I still get a lot of love and support from everybody else because they see my potential. I'm very thankful for that.
So let's talk a little bit about that, the recruiting process. I assume, how's it done now? Does the phone ring? Is it text, direct message? How do recruiters, do they go through your coaches? Parents, how does it work?
Well, it's a little bit of everything. And, I've recently got connected with a recruiter that really puts my film out there. And, there's this website where I can view who sees my film. And, so it's a little bit of a mix of everything, though, like texts, calls, coaches, visits, stuff like that.
Is it one-way street, or do you also recruit yourself and reach out to people?
Oh, definitely trying to reach out to people a little bit more.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And I live down south, so I remember you I think you were coached by one of my favorite youth coaches. I have two favorite youth coaches, Clark Moses at Eastlake and Larry Posada at the Bucks. Was Larry your coach at the Bucks?
Yeah, Larry Posada is definitely a really respected coach throughout all of San Diego, and I'm very thankful that he was my coach for 8th grade year.
And who's been the biggest coach impact for you so far in your young career?
Like high school or youth or both combined?
Anything.
I think both.
All of them, yeah.
Both? Ooh, that's tough. Definitely either Coach Larry and definitely Coach Carter as well here at Lincoln. And also my quarterback coach, Coach Jose Muller at Left Coast Athletics. Definitely all three of those guys definitely really made an impact towards me becoming a better football player and a better person too.
Can I follow up on that, Left Coast Athletics? I see that all the time on Twitter. And am I watching you a lot of the times when I'm seeing those drills being done?
I don't really go to him that often just because it's a long drive. It's about like an hour and a half drive to his workout spot, but definitely gonna go work out with him a lot more this summer. So you're gonna see me out there a little bit more.
So you have to be excited. I can't imagine being a high school quarterback and then I show up at Lincoln and I get to hand the ball off to Roderick Robinson. It takes, I mean, that just takes a little pressure off the throwing game, doesn't it, when you have a guy like that?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's always nice having a really nice run game to complement the passing game. You know.
And how good is Roderick? I mean, you get to see it firsthand.
Oh yeah, definitely. Rod's one of the hardest workers in the room at all times. You know, he's a great leader, and it's honestly. It's really nice having somebody like him in the backfield with me. So
I bet.
Yeah.
And is there like a recruiting edge there, knowing that everybody in the country wants to see him play? They're also going to notice everybody else that's on the field. Does it work that way?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, Rod attracts a lot of college scouts and attention, and also they come to see him. But there's also some guys that stand out here too that will really help others get recruited. So definitely, it's a plus.
You know, I always wonder this now because when I was after my freshman year, I transferred high schools, and some of my friends from the first high school still don't talk to me to this day. Do kids, is that just part of the game now, or like do your teammates at Eastlake just get mad at you and don't talk to you for a while? How's that work now? Do they just, or they let it go?
Honestly, it's like the first few days, it's like a little, you know, it's a little awkward, you know, but at the end of the day, we were teammates, you know, it's all love, and we pray for each other for the best, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, mine was awkward. We had to play each other the first week, too.
Yeah, I mean, those feelings might
wow.
resurface, though, if you end up having to play Lincoln Eastlake matchup might create a little ill will, will it not?
Oh, yeah, maybe a little bit of talking, smack talk here and there, if that happens, but honestly, at the end of the day, football brings each other together, and it's all love.
Should I ask my usual question? I ask every
Get it
quarterback.
out of the way. Excuse me,
I ask
Johnny.
everybody this.
This question's not very original, but being that your name has popped up as an answer,
I have to ask it.
As recently as last week, please bear with us. You probably know what's coming. You're a smart kid.
No.
Right?
So besides yourself, who are your top? Should I go 3 or 4?
Well, you know what? Be consistent.
All right. Who are your top 3 quarterbacks in San Diego for next year, besides yourself, not including yourself?
You know, there's some guys out there with a lot of hype in San Diego, you know, such as Dominic Nankill, Julian Sain, and props to Jax Leatherwood for actually shouting me out and saying that I'm one of the underrated quarterbacks in San Diego. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of guys with some hype, but there's also some under the radar guys that I've had in mind too.
Well,
my opinion.
We're waiting.
He's like Jax. They won't name any names. See?
You got to say the names or it doesn't count.
Like, you know, a few quarterbacks. I got 3 quarterbacks, 3 under the radar quarterbacks that I had in mind. And I had definitely Russell Chavez out of Vista. And who else? Oh, yeah, Dylan Curry out of Poway. And third, definitely Connor Underhill out of Rancho Buena Vista.
Oh, that's
so
actually...
I believe...
Oh, Johnny.
I believe those guys deserve a little more credit.
Johnny. I agree. And how we left him off this conversation.
It's funny because I was actually going to say him because I was just watching him on Twitter. He has been left off a lot. We have to have him on the podcast.
Yes, I think maybe that as early as next week, huh?
We missed the ball.
This is, you know, the bad thing about this is it's becoming an all quarterback podcast. We have to change that. So
well, and we always have to pick somebody he can pronounce their name, which levels down to like 4 people.
Yeah, so that really we only have about 4 or 5 kids that we can work with. Mr. Lyman.
Yeah.
Hey, just can I get back to the school thing?
Yeah,
transferring schools. I mean, is it tough walking around, or because you're on the? Let's face it, Lincoln's football team is pretty darn popular in the county, and everybody knows what's.
Oh yeah, of course.
Everyone knows it. So when you're part of that team, does that buy you, I don't know, popularity points walking around school?
Honestly, you know, just a little bit, but at the end of the day, everybody's like minding their own business. So it's pretty much, you know, I guess you could say a little bit, you know, there's always like stereotypes with football players and stuff, but you know, I try to stay down to earth and be as equal as everybody. So
you're also, you're a 4.0 student, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
So if there wasn't football, what would Johnny be doing for a living? What would you be going for right now?
That's a question. You know, I don't really have a plan B. You know, my main passion, my main focus is football, but definitely probably like maybe something still involved with sports, like sports marketing, sports broadcasting, something like that.
Everybody wants to take your job, Paul. Everyone. Everybody.
The way I'm fading, it's going to be open sooner than you know. Johnny, what's your favorite? Obviously, if you're 4.0, you must like a lot of subjects. Maybe we can tackle that question from a different way. What's your favorite subject?
That's tough. Honestly, I'm really good with like numbers and things of that nature. So definitely, probably math.
Same as you. Same as you, Paul.
Yes.
Johnny, this is the other one we asked all the quarterbacks too. And now you pulling that, we do have all quarterbacks on here. We got to get some linemen on here.
Yeah, we're going to change that up soon.
What quarterback in the NFL right now is comparable to Johnny Lamone?
Probably Joe Burrow, definitely because he's definitely a pass first kind of guy, but he could still get some yards when he really needs to, and he's really good with like reading defenses and staying calm and collective and that nature.
All the guys say Joe Burrows too. And you think it's because he's good looking and he dresses nice and he's popular?
And he's really good.
And he's really good.
Hey, Johnny.
And he's really good.
There's this moment back in 1978 when a school, underdog school by the name of Madison Edgewood was taking on this powerful Catholic school also that they met on a November day, and it was cold and rainy, and they were running this 28 toss, and they were just crushing this defensive end by the name of Rudy. 8 yards, 15 yards, 16 yards, and even Rudy's parents were heckling him. So he decided, as they came up, I think it was like 2nd and 6, and I just knew, that kid named Rudy just knew that they were going to run that 28 toss again, and anticipating the snap, he didn't even look at the ball carrier, he just ran to where he thought the guy was going to be, and he hit the snot out of this guy who was having a 200-yard day running the same play, and you could hear the air leave the ball carrier's body as the ball would squirted out, and it was just one of the most classic hits of that 1978 season. That 12 seconds, Johnny, I have relived that in my mind every day of my life since 1978. And I'm curious, do you have a moment like that right now where you relive it? It was such a special moment athletically, be it good or bad, that you still think about it a lot.
Johnny, hold up. I'm going to give you time to think. That was the most pathetic thing I've ever heard in my entire life right there.
Why is it pathetic? I was sharing with I was opening up to the young man.
That was a combination of Hoosiers and the movie Rudy. That was just horrible.
No, but it was a true moment. It actually happened.
And you still relive that?
There is not a day that goes by when I'm walking the dogs.
Johnny, I'm sorry.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to say is that's the beauty of high school athletics, Johnny, is that be it if you're a great player like yourself or a very average player like me, you have these memories that just never leave you. I'm curious, do you have one of those moments yet, or is it still to come, do you think?
Well, in high school, not quite yet, but definitely youth football, I had some.
Well, then share it with us.
It was definitely an all-star team. It was San Diego's all-star team where we traveled to Ohio to play for a national championship. And, after the first round-robin game, or this was like the first elimination game, and we played this team from Charlotte, and we beat them, and it was just the best feeling knowing that we're going to get a chance to play on live television for a national championship.
Does that video or do those pictures still exist?
Yeah, really deep down somewhere in someone's camera roll.
You got to find them for me. So, because we show clips of this, I need to have a picture of that. Can you get it to me?
Possibly. Definitely.
Because I need it by tomorrow.
By tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is it deadline? I got you.
Can you just look to see if there's a picture or video?
There's definitely not a picture in my phone, but probably in my dad's phone.
Oh.
So I got to get that.
You got to give him a call for me, okay?
Yeah, got you.
And so now you're at Lincoln, and you know, we argue about who has the best league, whether it's, you know, the Avocado or, but I mean, you play, you play Modern Day, you play Steel Canyon with Major Givens, you play Cathedral, you play Saints, you play Madison, you play Scripps Ranch with Jax Leatherwood. They're defending state champs. I mean, you're going to have a lot of those big marquee games, it seems like, every week now. Is that something you look forward to or something not so? Because I remember being in high school, you always want a couple teams that aren't good that you can rest against or pad your stats. But, I mean, it's great to be on PPR every week, but it's also you're playing the best of the best every week. I mean, is that something you look forward to, or do you like a little break in between and maybe sprinkle in a scrub team in there?
Oh, definitely look forward to playing all these tougher teams. You know, it's always going to get your teammates better to play against better competition throughout the county. It's only going to prepare us for playoffs and CIF and maybe even state.
Do you have enough horses at Lincoln inside the Hive to handle a long run like that?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
We get that's going to be our game. We get the Steel Canyon, Lincoln, and Major Givens and Roderick Robinson. That's going to be quite the ground show.
Yeah, if Lincoln will have us, I suspect we'll be there a lot, right?
Why wouldn't they have us?
Well, I mean...
After the story you just told, you're famous.
Hey, Johnny, what do you do when you're not working out or playing football? What are your fun things to do?
Fun things, like completely away from football.
Yeah.
Could take my mind off things. Definitely, probably like play some PlayStation, to be honest.
How did I know that was going to come? God, what's your best video game?
Honestly, I'm really good at like Warzone. So.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's
it's like a free Call of Duty game where it's like, I don't know, you just kill people in there.
Yeah. I saw this video of on Twitch of one of those tournaments, one of those video game tournaments, and you should have seen all these kids that had these just pasty white complexions. They were just obviously hadn't been outdoors. And
I don't even know what Twitch is.
Well, Twitch is a streaming service that carries all these video games. And boy, things got when there was an argument over something that happened in one of the video games, it got really heated. You young people take video games pretty darn seriously, do you not?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's honestly a big source of entertainment for everybody, and everybody wants to be good at everything they do. So definitely, people are also very competitive on the game too.
So how do you manage your time between that? Because I have my younger son, he never played a single sport because I can't get him off his video game. So do you have like a thing where you're only allowed to play 2 hours a day or an hour? Do you kind of limit it, or is football first and then videos when you find it?
Oh, definitely football first. I really prioritize like working out and playing football. You know, as soon as I'm done getting my workout in, as soon as I'm done with everything I need to, my homework, if I have time at the end of the day for video games, then I'll probably hop on for a little bit, for like about an hour and a half.
Well, Johnny, we've kept you longer than we keep saying we're going to keep these things to 15 minutes, and we're coming up on 20 minutes.
Your story had to come up. That was 8 minutes of it. Was your 1978 story.
Will you let it go?
It was a good story.
It was a good story.
Johnny, did you enjoy the story, yes or no?
Oh, yeah, I did.
All right, wait, first of all, watch the movie Rudy. It never happened. He just used the name, you took the play, everything.
That's not true.
It is too. It's true.
It didn't happen in Rudy. You don't even know what you're talking about.
You were on JV as a senior. You did not. That never happened. That never happened.
Johnny, last question. Can you talk to the young Johnny Lamones out there that want to be the next you? Speak to the kids that are winging the ball around on the playground that have aspirations of maybe playing for their high school team or more. What advice would you give them?
Definitely put your all into it. You know, definitely prioritize, you know, putting the work in. You know, just really putting 100% of your effort into it. So at the end of the day, you can say that you did everything you could.